By now, many of us have seen the official new trailer for Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. The trailer was amazing, giving us a glimpse of the new and further debilitated state of Hyrule and the looming threat of an awakening Ganondorf. We were given a peek at the truly terrifying new flying enemies and what looks to me like a three-headed behemoth crossing the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 bridge. The enemies seem to be much more organized in this game than the ones that appeared in Breath of the Wild, as we see a group of Lazafolds mining ore, or perhaps they're looking for luminous stones? Possibly. Could they be doing it at the direct command of Ganondorf? Well, hard to know for sure from just the trailer, but I strongly suspect this is true. In this analysis, I will be discussing many of the elements that particularly stuck out to me from the trailer that might further explain what kind of dangers we could possibly be facing in this game. Just as the trailer starts, we're shown a violent storm, perhaps an omen of what is to come next. As thunder bellows in the sky and lightning strikes the land, we see what looks to be the Sheikah Towers still risen from underneath the ground, but this time they are surrounded by mysterious lighting shone upon them like spotlights. What could these mysterious lights be, and where exactly are they coming from? This all makes me wonder that perhaps the towers might have individual dungeons hidden deep underneath them. As we saw with the shrines in Breath of the Wild, the ancient Sheikah are no strangers to hiding whole building structures deep underground. In fact, it seemed to be standard operating procedure during their times, considering that they were the ones who helped fight and contribute to the defeat of Calamity Ganon 10,000 years prior to the Breath of the Wild storyline. This all leads me to believe that there could be multiple networks of tunnels leading to even more ancient structures below the surface of the lands of Hyrule that we have yet to get to explore. As we see from Trailer 1, Link and Zelda are exploring what looks to be a cavern even deeper underground than the underground observatory. So it is not so far-fetched of an idea that the ancient Sheikah would build structures on top of or below other structures. Of course, we also see in that same trailer that what was hidden below the surface of Hyrule is violently rising to the surface. The lights shining upon the towers seem to be part of the resurgence of all the mysteries buried deep under the kingdom, all simultaneously reviving as the great evil Ganondorf does the same. Although it is not yet clear just from looking at the first trailer or even the second one as to what has allowed Ganondorf to start to break free of his seal or how he got to where Link and Zelda found him. But what does seem to be clear is that Ganondorf's mummified corpse is the source of all of the malice and he is regaining strength. Enough so that he is not only able to facilitate the revival of his fallen minions during a blood moon, as we saw in Breath of the Wild, but now he has produced enough malice to blow the lid off of his subterranean prison, literally floating Hyrule Castle on a blood-red geyser of pure malice. The great king of evil, Ganondorf, is now able to speak.
Rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule. Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors!
For the first time, we hear the booming voice of what could be arguably the greatest and bloodthirstiest incarnation of the Gerudo King yet. There does, however, seem to be something different about this Ganondorf. This time, he doesn't seem to want to rule the kingdom like he did in previous games. For instance, in Wind Waker, he mostly coveted the lands of Hyrule and wanted them for his people instead of the harsh deserts where it is freezing cold at night and burning hot during the day. This time Ganondorf seems to want the wholesale annihilation of the kingdom of Hyrule as he orders legions of his minions to mercilessly exterminate all survivors they find. He seems to be speaking to the hordes of great beasts and monsters telepathically, much like how we saw Zelda do in Breath of the Wild. He also demonstrates that he can possess leagues of monsters using explosions of malice, similar to how he took over the divine beasts and the guardians in Breath of the Wild. I think this is very interesting, and that usually organic creatures are consumed by his malice rather than possessed by it, as we saw with the rats in the first trailer. Now this is just a theory of mine, but perhaps as Ganondorf grows in power, so does his control over the levels of damage his malice can do to organic creatures. This is, of course, just my speculation at this point, since we have no way of confirming this just from the trailer alone. What is not speculation is that there's going to be a much bigger gambit of enemies that will appear in this game. Some of them are reimagined enemies seen in Breath of the Wild, but many are brand new. We are introduced to these giant winged terrors that can pick up other enemies and carry them places. Furthermore, among Ganondorf's large hordes of possessed monsters, I saw a creature that looks very much like a Redead. I really do hope Redeads appear in this game. And since we're on the topic of enemies, there are two enemies that particularly stick out to me from this trailer. One of them is a massive golem made of what looks to me like carved stone. This golem also seems to be moved by the same green energy as the one seen on the Sky Islands in the first trailer. You know, the ones with the egg-like rock formations on their shoulders? Maybe the black golem is an advanced version of the egg golem, or maybe they are two separate enemies altogether. I guess we will have to wait and see. The next creature that has piqued my curiosity is the big ferocious three-headed dragon-like creature standing atop the Hylian Bridge. I don't think I've quite seen anything like that in a Zelda game before, but I have to admit I'm extremely excited to see what fighting a creature that size will be like. I think this is an excellent time to shift the conversation over to the topic of vehicles. Considering that the divine beasts haven't made any appearance in the game yet, or rather, they were not included in the trailer, it seems we're going to have a few new modes of transportation. Each one seems to be unique in their appearance as well as their use. So I think it's safe to assume that the very fact that they are showing us this in the trailer suggests that this game is going to be a bit longer and maybe larger in terms of its world than the previous game, since we're going to be going from the surface as well as traveling to the lowest depths of the ground and traversing the skies in this new adventure. The trailer ends leaving us in suspense with a very odd request from Princess Zelda asking someone to
please, lend him your power.
What could she mean by this? Who is she trying to persuade? Well, at this point, guys, we don't know. Well guys, that was my Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom trailer 2 analysis. Do you think I've covered everything? Do you think I've missed anything? Is there anything in the trailer that you would like me to discuss in more detail? Go ahead and sound off in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, please subscribe to the channel for more lore content. Well guys, that's all I've got for this one. This has been Chris of Crispy Kingdom saying, the council is dismissed.